This is DownHome Sports, covering the best sports and student athletes in Ellis County. Brought to you by Pinnacle Bank with ATM Live, powered by the people. Not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. The United States Marine Corps, the fighting spirit of an entire nation. Doe City Pizza and Burgers. For the best in artisan pizza and burgers, go to Doe City in Red Oak, Texas, across from the high school. It is delicious. Hi, we are welcoming in the Maypearl Lady Panthers.
Read that right there.
Why you got to do this?
Oh, that's because I got to do it.
I'm just kidding. He does make a good point. The 14-0 Lady Panthers basketball team. That is a stat worth starting off.
Well worth starting off.
We've got Coach Hensel. We've got Miss Dodd and Miss Berryman joining with us. I appreciate y'all taking your time to join us this evening. I know y'all got better things to do, but we do appreciate it. And so, first, Coach, I'll start with you. First year head coach. 14-0. That's got to be pretty good, right? Do you feel pretty confident about your starts?
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty excited right now. Just trying to keep pushing forward right now, and it's all new to me, and it's really exciting right now. I got a great group of girls.
Well, now let me ask you: does having girls like Jaylee and Lexi make it easier?
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, they're great senior leadership. I've got 4 seniors, and all 4 of them are just incredible girls, and it's awesome to coach them.
Well, Jaylee, I'm going to start out since we're having a little bit of fun, okay? I'm going to start out with my tater goofy questions. All right, so first thing is, who's grabbing that aux cord, playing songs that coach has never heard in their life on the bus ride, doing the TikToks and everything in the back? Lexi, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes total sense. Okay. Well, Lexi, what's one of the fun things about this team? What's something that nobody would know that goes onto the bus or on the bench? Is there like a little wink or nod? Is there a phrase y'all are using to let everybody know you got the bag, just to get everybody giggling a little bit?
Well, our team motto this year is like swag. So we use that a lot. Other than that, we're just a crazy group of girls. We're real funny, goofy, and we have great, crazy different personalities all across the team. So I think that's what really brings us together.
Now, Coach Hensel, you can just tell, just talking between you guys, the camaraderie between you, Jaylee and Lexi. But I'm going to just go ahead and assume that it trickles down through the whole team. When you come in and step in and take over a program, and Maypearl has had some success. You had a great season last year as well. I know it kind of ended way sooner than the girls probably would have liked. But when you come in and it feels like a family, does it make it easier? Because I know some people step into situations and let's just say it's not the best. Maybe the kids aren't receptive. This has got to make it feel like, hey, this coaching thing is not so hard.
Yeah, it does. I've been with these girls since they were in 7th grade. This is my first group of 7th through senior year girls. And so it is. I've watched them grow up. I've gotten to be around them. They know my personality. I know them really well. And so it makes it a lot easier. They know whenever I get really fired up, like, hey, we better get in line. And then they also know that I'm going to bring a lot of positive energy because that's who I am. I'm a very optimistic and positive person.
But Jaylee, I want to ask you, as being in Maypearl, what about, and it's a small community town. It's actually, I live not far from Maypearl. And while it may not seem like it's growing, y'all's numbers are going up, but it's very, very tight knit. Talk about growing up and being raised in Maypearl, and then the atmosphere of going to school and participating in sports in Maypearl.
Yeah. So I was here in 8th grade, and it is. I live in a small town in Tennessee as well, and it is just a great community here, and I really love it, and very supportive. It's awesome.
Lexi, let's talk about small town ball. Let's talk about that student section for a second. All right, y'all got one of the best student sections around. All right, talk about how that student section just gets y'all pumped And when y'all get on a roll there, does that not just keep y'all getting fired up? Does the offense not being fed off the defense because y'all want to play that much harder for your classmates?
Yes, it's definitely so much fun. Makes the game way more exciting. It gets the fans into it. Our student section is loud, gets us pumped up, makes us want to play harder. It just makes the game even more fun.
Awesome. Well, Coach, let's come back to you real quick. Let's talk about this staff you built. Okay, all Maypearl grads, if I'm not incorrect. And then I don't know if you know this, but the guy that always acts shy on this show, named Reapy, is out there doing this, and he's all over the place over on the court. Just talk about your staff and having a hometown staff that, these girls are about to graduate. They're about to become alumni. Does that not make it an even more special year this year? Not taking anything from years past or anything like that, but just having all y'all together. I don't know if y'all probably didn't go to class together, but y'all knew each other through the years. Just talk about that and how that bond creates a bigger, more family atmosphere to where the girls can stay loose and play free.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, me and Coach Powers actually did graduate together in 2011. And then we both went and played college basketball, and our colleges were in the same conference. So we got to play against each other in college and stuff like that. And so I've known him for a long time. And then coaching with Coach Reapy, I know that the girls were a little bit nervous having a head football coach and AD come and be our assistant, and the kind of energy he brings, but it's been incredible. We all work really well together. I think we have great camaraderie as far as coaches go. I think that me and Coach Powers know each other really well just because we did grow up kind of together. And then Coach Reapy, I've worked with him ever since I came to Maypearl. And so we all three have the same mindset as far as we are Panthers at heart, and we just want to see Maypearl be successful. And so it's really cool, all three of us coaching together.
Well, and girls, I want to come to y'all. Both y'all get the same question, okay? But how does it feel? And we're going to start off with Lexi. Lexi, how does it feel to have, you've had some great coaches there at Maypearl over the years, but how does it feel to have somebody that has shared experiences, that you can relate to you probably a little bit better than a male coach can, okay? Let's just say it that way. And then second off, that played at that next level and knows what it takes to reach that next mountain.
It's really great because, like you said, they've been there before, so they've gone through what we've gone through. So it's easier for us to kind of relate to them because they've been there before. And so we're learning from people with experience. And it's really good.
Okay. What about you, Jaylee? Is there tips or tricks that you're getting from the coaches that, maybe you haven't gotten in before?
Yeah, same as Lexi said,
It's okay.
It's really great having coaches that have played at the next level that can give us insight that really help us, and that I want to listen to that because I know that they're giving us the right things to do.
Okay.
That's a good answer.
That's a great answer. I don't know what you two are so nervous about.
They're doing great.
Doing awesome.
Coach Hensel, I'm going to come back to you, and it's for a side note, it's weird because you say you graduated in 2011. That's when I graduated. Most coaches we interview are 50, 60 years old. So
like me.
So now I'm it's man, I guess I really am an adult.
Yes.
And
so I used to joke because with Coach K here last year and the past 5 years, I used to say my best friend is a 65-year-old man, because I was all the time.
Hey.
And so, but let's go down to the court and the actual X's and O's. 14-0, again, we talk about great start. But what in that 14-game start do you feel like your girls are doing very well? What is getting them off to such a hot start? And then on the reverse side of that, what's some things that you still would like to see cleaned up as you guys get closer to district play?
Yeah, so I think that my biggest key lately has been just playing calm basketball so that we are playing Lady Panther basketball. I think a lot of times other teams can change the tempo of your game. And so our biggest thing is just trying to stick with what we know and the little details. If we focus on the little things, then big things will happen. And so that's a key point that I make before every single game. My number one key is calm, all caps, because I think that's what we have to be in order to be successful. As far as on the flip side of that, I think that there's still little things and just working on positioning, on defense and stuff like that, just making sure all those little details are really clean and crisp. That way, again, we stay successful and we make it difficult for everyone else.
So I do want to ask this, Coach, because it seems like when we bring a lot of the female basketball coaches on here, it seems like the on-court concern most of the time, I'd probably say like 90% of the time, is communication. And they're like, these girls just talk nonstop, but you put them on a court and it's like they forget how to use words. How would you rate your guys' communication so far?
Okay, so if we're just being honest on my defensive keys, that's my number one key. So offensively, it's calm, and then defensively, it's talk and all caps. I think, so I have to say, I think it's better than it has been in a long time. We actually, at the beginning of the year, our junior high gym was getting redone, and our high school gym, the volleyball team was in there. And so we spent a lot of the beginning and preseason and stuff like that getting to be in the primary gym, which is like, I don't even know how old, but it's an older gym and it echoes really bad in there. And so for once we put them in this old gym and they're playing defense and they're talking. And then it was like incredible how loud they could be. And it almost became like a game to them, like, oh, let's see how loud we can get. And so that has been, honestly, I think one of the best things for us this year is having to go back to the old school gym.
Hey, well, the echo and everything, just making it fun. Hey, that's cool. Well, Lexi, I know y'all's motto swag. I used to see you play softball. You used to have a little swag with your team back then. Weren't y'all the divas? Okay, there we go. All right. But Lexi, this year, 13.9 points per game. And you've been the blocker of your district 2 years in a row. Okay. But, and I guess that's what's coming this next number from the volleyball standpoint. We mentioned again a minute ago, 8.7 rebounds per game. You just don't get there without on those rebounds. Those, you're fighting down there a lot. But who inspired you to love this game and to play as hard as you do day in, day out?
I would say there's a bunch of people in my life that inspired me. I would say like one individual would be my grandpa, because he's very, he like pushes me to be my best. He definitely gives it to me like cut and dry, like tells me what I do bad, even if I don't want to hear it, like that for sure. And then my coaches all across the years from Pee Wee up until high school.
Well, Coach, I know if her grandpa's there, you probably got a fourth coach on the other side calling stuff out.
Man, I got, yeah.
Okay. But Jaylee, what about that person for you? Is there somebody in particular?
I'd say my mom. I started playing when I was maybe in fourth grade, and she kind of pushed me into playing, and I was iffy about it, but I have grown this love for basketball and since fourth grade.
Well, ladies, I got one more question for y'all. And this is just about being seniors, because I think it's a big lens that you don't get to see, coming up. If you're a junior or sophomore, you don't get it yet. But as a senior, with the town that y'all have, and I mean, they packed that gym, okay? Jake, my nephew played there. They packed that gym. How much does it mean for y'all to be mentors to the little girls out there when y'all are practicing at the elementary gym or whatever? How much does it mean to you to represent Panther basketball and know that these little girls are looking up to you saying, I want to be like her one day, and that you're inspiring a whole new generation of basketball players down there in Maypearl? Lexi?
It's an honor, because I remember whenever I was little going to the high school games, looking up to those players and just like looking up to them and wanting to be them one day. And now I'm that person. So it's really great whenever like younger kids come up to us, or even the JV girls, and just like tell us like how great we are, how much we inspire them. So it's an honor.
What about you, Jaylee?
When I was that age, I would always think of high school and varsity sports as they're always perfect, like they were always perfect, did everything perfect. But just seeing them make mistakes and then helping each other and staying positive and being supportive of each other, that's what I've tried to do and try to encourage the team to do. And it's just great having little girls look up to us like that.
Well, Coach, being an alumnus as well as the head coach, how proud does it make you to hear these ladies talk so passionately and open and honest and just thoughtful about the way that they're going to leave Maypearl High School?
You know, it makes me feel really proud. One thing my dad has always instilled in me was that to be successful, you have to make others successful. And I think that this team really embodies that. We went to Pancakes with Santa the other day just so we could see the little kids. They love this community. This community loves them. And I think that that is such an important thing because we really try to work on giving back to those little girls and making sure that they have great leaders and great varsity girls to look up to. And these girls are just, they're great in the classroom. I never have issues. They're great on the floor. They're just great people. And I think that that is such an important thing for Maypearl to have. And I'm so proud of this set of girls that I couldn't ask for a better team to coach my first year out.
That's awesome. Well, before we let you guys go, Coach, back to you. What's the upcoming schedule looking like for the next week?
So we have Mildred tomorrow. Varsity will play at 6:15. We have TV at 5, and then it's at home. And then we also have Joshua on Friday night, and that's at varsity will actually play at 4:30. We flipped varsity and JV. And JV will play at 5:45 after.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all again so much for taking time to talk to us. I've got to say, this was probably one of the best interviews we've had because y'all were so much fun. And so we wish y'all the best of luck, and then hopefully we can get y'all on again, maybe talk on an update about some district wins, district championship. I don't know, all that sounds
Beating that team that shall not be named.
Yeah, those people
Sweeping them.
south of you.
That's the plan.
So thank y'all so much, and let's do this again. Good luck, and y'all go get them this week.
Do you know the difference?
Well, the best benefit in having true benefits is the fact that they're easy. You can get a hold of them. It's not 2 days later, a week later, I can make a phone call. If they don't have the answer, they'll get us the answer within 24 hours.
He came to the office and interviewed all of our girls and did a presentation, told them what they were offering, and the girls were able to decide what they needed.
They came in and gave us options both for our company and our employees that were affordable and beneficial for all.
No matter the size of your business or your employees' needs, True Texas Benefits is the partner for you.
Because Ellis County knows the difference.
True Texas Benefits for all your benefits needs.
We are welcoming now the Ferris men's basketball team. We've got Coach McGee, we've got Dakota, Delacerda, and we've got Tommy Dixson joining us, as Coach would say, the two old men of the basketball team. And so we appreciate y'all taking time out of your evening to jump on with us. It means a lot, and hopefully we can shine a light on this Yellow Jacket program. And so, Coach, starting with you, we were talking a little bit before we started recording about how the season's going, how it started. And one thing you pointed out, the record might not be there, but you scheduled some tough competition. Like you said, Melissa state ranked. I mean, Brock, I don't think there's a year where Brock is not good. I mean, you just got a preseason of just stacked teams, and you're in there with them, but you haven't come out on the winning side in a lot of them. But talk about how that builds character and how that's going to build your team for when district comes around.
You know, it's an interesting thing. Brock is number 3. Melissa just broke into 19. We opened up with Kaufman at 16, and we actually did get that one. We went down to Crockett, and there, I want to say number 7 in 3A. I mean, it's just brutal, which I knew going in for us to build on the season we had last year. I got to get these guys some experience. My thought process is they can't learn the first time we're in the playoffs for the first time we're playing for a district championship. That can't be the first big game they have. I mean, I get it. I can schedule down and play a lot of teams and build up their confidence that way. But, you know, you learn a lot. And even for myself, I thought, you know, we'd be a little more battle hardened. I thought we'd have a little more experience from last year. But a lot of these guys were a part of it, but they weren't on the floor. They weren't the ones grabbing the rebounds, making the plays. And that's what's valuable right now, that they're learning. Like, hey, you got to show up. I mean, you can see it from the bench. Now you're actually on the floor. And in Tommy's case, you know, it's really nice when you're the only sophomore starter and there's 4 seniors on the court. You know, it's nice. They carry a lot of load, but now he's learning leadership. You know, I told these guys a lot that most of their careers up at this point, they've been led by the seniors. They've been led by a junior class. There's always been someone ahead of them. So now I said, you no longer can be led. You have to lead now. And that's the big story of our program, and getting their minds that empowering them that they have to be leaders. There's no option. There's no way around it for all of them. There's no one to kind of follow behind. So far it's been looking good. We had a good tournament at the Sanger tournament. We were able to split, go 2-2, get into the silver division championship, lost to a tough Bowie team. But everything so far has been a good learning experience for us.
Now, let me ask you this from a coach's standpoint. When you're dealing from anywhere from 14, 15 to 18-year-old young men, as a coach, and when you get older, you can see the benefit of playing that tough schedule, because ultimately the only record that really matters is that district record.
Yeah.
But how do you portray it to the boys? Because I know as a young kid, you can get down with losses. How do you toe that balance of you want to get wins, but that way when district starts, you have some confidence, but in the same breath, like you said, you're playing teams now that are going to look like what you play come playoff time. How do you toe that line to make sure that they're not only getting the experience, but also getting the confidence?
That's one of my biggest challenges. And that's actually one of my bigger anxieties going in with the team temperament, the team mindset. And I basically break down and show them what I see. We're constantly watching film. We're keeping tabs on our opponents. And I kind of showed them just our strength of schedule, but then I showed them what our competition is looking like right now in district and who they're playing. You know, I'm kind of just upfront with them, and they're getting to see kind of the quality of opponents and seeing their strength of schedule. And I think it makes them feel better, because they're like seeing what our district is playing and what we're playing. And that's they kind of see what I'm seeing. I kind of just leave it all out there for them. I don't shield them from it. You know, I showed them a life schedule, and life is doing a great job. They're like 4-0, but they're playing like Dallas Samuel, Dallas Adamson, teams that are traditionally like 1 and 2 win teams. So, and they kind of see like, okay, coach is preparing us for something bigger, you know, and it also amplifies the importance of games that we're supposed to win. That's one of the big things too, where when we don't have quote unquote a big game in our schedule, the sense of urgency is, hey, we got to take care of business when we're supposed to take care of business. We've had that conversation too. So I think that's kind of helped me with that dynamic of avoiding that frustration and things like that. I think with a lot of kids, that kind of helped me, since this is their first year and they're trying to prove themselves. They kind of have a chip on their shoulder. So that kind of helps too, that they want to keep the tradition forward. They want to add that gold ball in the trophy case. They don't want to be that team that lets it drop off.
On Dakota, real quick, man. I mean, coach has had y'all playing together for a while now. Y'all played throughout the summer. You know, you came into the fall ball season, did that. Now you're putting on that jersey. And there's got to be a huge difference between wearing those fall league and those spring league jerseys than actually putting on that high school jersey. What has been that difference for you as a senior, having gone through, you know, coming off the bench, you know, being a starter this year, instead of being off the bench, and, you know, actually being a senior and trying to drive this team forward?
I've pretty much had to step up as a leader instead of, because last year it was mainly me being led by DeMarcus, Carter, Caleb, Allen, Trey, all of them. And this being my final year, I'm trying to give the team pretty much everything I have until we end up state, to be honest, the end goal. That's about it, pretty much.
Okay. And Tommy, being a junior point guard, I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. But what is one of the things that you think your teammates have helped you out with thus far this year in taking control of the court from that position?
They've helped a lot, like in a whole bunch of different ways. But one of the bigger ones is like when I'm struggling with, I don't know, like going too fast, turnovers, missing layups, like when I'm just struggling in general, they're there to take the ball from me, get my head back in check. And they're still able to take control of the team. So that's helped a lot rather than I have to think since I'm the only returner, I have to do everything. I can give it to them and they're perfectly fine doing it themselves.
But does it help you, Tommy, from a player perspective, that coaches, pulling back the curtain a little bit, showing y'all what these teams are doing, what the actual deal is about playing these tough teams early instead of, just kind of sugarcoating it and just giving it to you dead straight that y'all are playing some tough teams out there and don't just be watching the newspapers about everybody else.
It definitely helps playing those tougher teams because my freshman year, we played, I think we started off 17-0, cracked the top 25. I think we got all the way down to 11, but we weren't playing anybody. And then when it came to district time, and even a little bit before that, you could start seeing that when it came down to the big moments, you got to hit this shot, you got to make this play. We weren't used to it. And I think playing these bigger teams definitely helps down the road when okay, we're already used to this. It's just another game for us. It's not kids are getting scared and turning the ball over. And they've been through this time and time and time again. And even the ones that we have won, they know the right plays to make rather than not being there. And this is their first time.
Coach McGee, I'm going to slide over to you. There's a reason that coaches generally bring their kids on with them. And I'm sure you listening to these two boys, you're looking at probably the core leadership of your team. But talk to us about Dakota and about Tommy, what they bring to the table and what you're kind of looking for them to help build around and build that Ferris organization. Because I know it has to start with your players. It has to start with them.
Yeah. Well, Dakota first is a senior. I remember the first day I met him when I got the job. He was wearing the hoodie. He didn't have kind of the shaggy hair. He kind of had it cut low, and it was just apprehensive. I think if I'm not mistaken, I was his junior year, so that would have been his third coach or my second coach in about 3 years. So I know there needed to be some stability. There needed to be some trust there. And so far, he's been doing everything that's been asked, and he's kind of seen his game grow and kind of blossom from that. Another thing that I find unique about Dakota is he represents the core of that senior class. They've all had a friendship long-standing since junior high, elementary, and he's right there at the center of that. So that's kind of the rock and the strength of our team is that stability that he provides with the guys, and the relationship I have with him kind of helps that dynamic with the team where that trust is really strong. I know that academically he's excelled as a student since I've gotten there. I'm really proud of him. He's an all-A student present right now, and he has been all year. He's in a position to actually play some junior college ball if everything works out. So I'm really happy with him, and that's kind of what helps me is kind of the work is kind of shown for itself for him. Every day he's in the gym early, the spring, the summer, the fall. Everything I've pretty much put in front of him has kind of come to fruition. So, I'm really proud of him in that right now. I hope he kind of continues to do some of the little things. Mainly as far as a player, we've talked about efficiency. He's one of those kids that he's probably been able to just get the ball in his hands and be a volume shooter. Shoot the ball 20 sometimes, you get some points. But I've been kind of talking about efficiency, taking quality shots. And actually, when we got off the bus this past weekend, he finished 3 of those 4 games, 19, 21, and 19. and he shot less balls than he normally shot. And I kind of looked at him, I was like, it has to be something this efficiency thing. Huh? He was like, yep. So he kind of likes that. It's like, maybe I should just go to the basketball or shoot around the paint like this guy is telling me, because my numbers looking really good while I listen to this guy. But it's just little things that he has to learn, just habits that he has to gain, just defensively, moving his feet. And that comes a lot with trust, that I'm not going to ever tell you anything that's going to hurt you. It's going to help you. And then with Mr. Dixon, hats off to him. You know, he had to step up in the football program in non-district and take over as quarterback for the football program. This kid wasn't doing anything having to do with the quarterback all spring, all summer, hell, all fall. Then out of nowhere, he throws on a headset and says, hey, kid, the ball's going to be in your hand the rest of the season. And he got them back in the playoffs. Had some actually pretty good numbers as quarterback, had great numbers as a receiver. And now he's in a position to kind of help lead the basketball program. So I can't say enough about his toughness and leadership and what's thrust upon him. And he's a heck of a basketball player, has a good feel for the game. He's been playing all his life, has a passion for it. And Tommy's something that's just, you don't come around very often. A kid that's a true point guard. You know, a lot of kids are going for points and scoring. Tommy wants to facilitate first, but he can pick up 10, 15 in his own right really quick. But he's just one of those dedicated leaders that you just don't see very often. That's just a blessing to have.
That's awesome. Well, Dakota, we're going to skip over to you real quick. And just, you know, the program, the school's changed over the past couple of years. It seems like the vibe there is we are going to win. Not we can win or we should win. It's we are going to win all the way across the board and all the programs now. You know, I know Coach McGee has brought a very detail-oriented style of coaching in, more than likely, going over all the little things. How much do the little things count to this team, and how much will they count as the season progresses?
Coach McGee taught us that little plays like diving for the ball, like diving for loose balls, taking charges, or playing as hard as possible every second it taught us that that's what it really takes to win, all the little things. So, and we weren't used to all those little things when he first came in, so he had to slowly grind it into our heads. So, yeah. Okay, and you know, Dakota, as a senior, and I've been asking this to a lot of players, looking through your eyes now, how much does it mean to you to be an inspiration to younger players? Right now, y'all got out right outside the door there. Y'all got the Ferris Youth Basketball Association playing. How much, and you walk through, I guarantee all those kids are looking at you. Here's a senior on our basketball team. How much does it mean to inspire them to say, man, one of these days, I want to be just like him? It's actually really cool because I've never had someone to look up to like that growing up. So being that person that everyone else looks up to it like gives me butterflies, I guess. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, Tommy, we'll skip over to you real quick. You know, you partner over there, 6 points a game, 9 rebounds a game right now. You're going 4 points a game, but you got 5 assists a game. And, you know, we know you can drop dimes on the football field throwing. And I was going to get to that before Coach McGee did, because you were on pace to have one heck of a season as a wide receiver. And I mean, you know, like Coach said, you stepped in, but did that little step in at leadership position like quarterback, how much did that prepare you for this upcoming season, and not just being handed the reins, but taking the reins in hand?
It helped a lot, because when we were during the summer, I mean, it was competitive, but you could tell that we were really just hooping, like go like with your friends, your boys, go play pickup at the park. I mean, we were just hooping. It's like I really never had it cross my mind. And then as a receiver, I was always just like I was a receiver. I was gonna get, like, I wanted my stats. I mean, I wanted to win. Obviously, I wanted my stats, I wanted everything. I wanted all the. I mean, of course, receivers, they want all the passes thrown to them. They want all the touchdowns. They want all that. And then when I was a quarterback, I started seeing just how much more of it there was. Like, I mean, the group of seniors that we had this year, football trusted me enough to, I mean, I mean, they could have easily gave up like, oh, our quarterback's done. Junior, 5 foot, nothing junior. I mean, they could have easily gave up on me, but they trusted me enough to, keep the same attitude they had with our other quarterback. So that showed me just like how like little time that the seniors do have left. And that got to me because I was like, next year that's going to be me. And I didn't, and even after the playoff game after loss, I felt awful just because I felt like I let them down. Like it was supposed to be my job to take them there. Cause I was the quarterback. So I felt like that was it felt like it was my fault. I got let them down. And looking at his basketball, it's kind of the same thing. Like I'm being trusted by all the players to handle the ball, not get turnovers, get peeled at half court. I'm getting trusted by my coaches to be the point guard, make the right passes, make the right reads. And all I can think about sometimes is that football team where like, I don't want to have that same feeling with the basketball team. Obviously, I know it's obviously come to an end, even if we do go to state. But I know if we go to state and we win, it's going to feel a lot different than if we go to like 2 rounds and lose. So, that's what's keeping me there right now.
Well, Coach McGee, real quick, when you got a point guard that plays wide receiver and quarterback, does he have a chance to set a school record on taking charges as well?
I think Alan Garcia led us, but Tommy's tough and he knows how to take charges. He knows how to take charges. Will he take charges?
Well, if you want, I'll come down there. You can put a mat down. I'll take him through some charge drills.
Marcus Rankin was Defensive Player of the Year last year.
Mm-hmm.
And Tommy Dixon is just as good as defender as DeMarcus Rankin. It didn't really show, but a lot of times, like Heritage, for example, DeMarcus Rankin had to guard Hogue. And Tommy guarded, what's his name? Hayden.
Yeah.
And Hayden is hands down one of the best shooter, if not the best shooter in our district. Respect what respect's due. That kid can flat out shoot. Tommy held him to both his lowest season averages. So when it comes to a hard-nosed defender, and that's what's going to give him an opportunity to continue playing basketball if he so chooses. Because right now, I coach junior college basketball. If I were to take Tommy right now as a junior and put him in a junior college practice, you wouldn't know he's a high school junior. He's about 185 pounds, just got that solid frame for football. He can go out there and defend some 19, 20-year-olds, no problem. So, he's tough. He can take charges, get on the floor of loose balls, and lock up grown men. So he has my utmost faith that he's going to lead us in charges.
That's what I like to hear.
I like it. Coach McGee, I got a question for you as we start to get winded down here. And it kind of comes from something Dakota said about when we were talking earlier. Ferris is turned that corner to now where all programs have that belief, like Taker said, that they're going to win. But that doesn't just start by hiring a new coach and you get one team. That starts when you're in junior high. That starts with your youth programs. That starts when those kids are 5, 6 years old. It doesn't just happen overnight. You've taken on a responsibility and you've got that Ferris Youth basketball league going on and you just started it. How much is that going to play a role into the development of Ferris basketball program that then feeds into your junior high, which feeds into your high school? How much does that build for you guys?
Major role. It had to happen. It was kind of COVID. COVID slowed a lot of things down. And with the old administration, everyone kind of just laid the sword down, and no one wanted to pick it up. And I just kept chipping away at it for the last year and a half. Just, hey, who's the board president? Who's in meeting people? Even if they didn't want to meet me, I was just right there, that smile on my face, just kept chipping away at it. And then I finally got that green light to kind of get a new board organized. Got some good people on it that are homegrown Ferris with young kids coming up. I have 3 boys myself, 8th grade, 4th grade, and kinder. And it was very important for me to get it started because kind of pick up where I left off of Midlothian, get all my boys in youth league, get all the teams going, get all the parents involved, got my kids over here in middle school. I couldn't do what I'm doing if they wouldn't allow that. So I'm excited because Ferris has now become K through 12. I'm working with all these kids, kinder, my 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7, 8, all the way up. and give it another 2 or 3 years. I'm pretty excited where it's going to be, because looking at the middle school right now, just where that program is, it's night and day from last year. I mean, they're selling out about a third of our home gym just for their games. So I'm pretty stoked of what it could become if I keep chugging along.
Well, guys, I'm going to pick on Coach for a minute, because I can tell you in Midlothian, when he was youth league, we had a coach's game. He went 1 for 8 with a 3. Yeah. I kept stats on you back then. Let me tell you.
And I smoked the layup. That the announcer called me out on. I'm going to go ahead and put myself on blast.
That was me, folks. That was me. But
that's what happens when you start pushing in your 30s, early 40s. I mean, it's there in my mind.
Yeah.
I learned.
Oh, it was out of my. It wasn't in my mind anymore. That's why I was grabbing a mic. But no, guys. So Dakota, what's one thing that you really think, other than on the court, that you're going to leave the Ferris basketball program with, that coach has been able to instill in you?
Oh, what do you mean by that? Like
is there a personal confidence? Is there, something about your game? Is there just something that's going to carry you through the future?
I think personal confidence, probably, because being on the court and then having fans to come see me is different, because they see how good I am and how much so I know people will know I'm good. So it helps me have a higher head than keep my head down low thinking I'm bad and all that.
Awesome. What about you, Tommy?
Leave for future people, future kids, or?
Yeah.
I just hope to leave behind that nothing comes easy. So, to always work for what you want. Because, I come in as a freshman. I was talked up a lot, and then in my opinion, not really none of the kids liked me, just because of what was said and how everything was felt. So I had to work through a lot of it just to earn their respect, just to be able to play on the same court as them. So I would just tell the kids don't just because Coach McGee his son my dad's the coach, I'm gonna be there regardless, or my dad is the superintendent, I'm gonna be there, nothing like that. Just work for what you want. Nothing's gonna come easy. And even last year, doing what I did last year, I still had to, every day in practice I had to fight for the respect of the upperclassmen, just they wouldn't trust a sophomore, a freshman to play right next to them, let alone be in the starting 5. So I just tell the kids, fight for what they want. Because, nothing comes easy out of Ferris. Everyone knows that. So
Bricktown, baby.
Yeah. Fight for what you want. And, nothing's going to come easy. So get ready for the long, hard road ahead.
There we go.
Awesome. Well, Tommy, Dakota, and Coach McGee, thank y'all so much again for having us on and letting y'all come on and dive into the program. We wish you the best of luck. Before we let you get out of here, Coach McGee, what is the next week's schedule look like?
Tomorrow we play Maypearl. Maypearl's been playing really well. They're coming in at 4-3. They actually lost some bigger schools, so they've been playing some competition. They played Burleson. They played Lido. I believe that was the Weatherford tournament, if I'm not mistaken. So new coach, Travis Barman, I've gotten to know him a little bit. Seems like a pretty good guy, and he has Maypearl in the right direction. They're a lot like us. They graduated everyone except for the point guard they had. I remember they had a lot of seniors last year. So we're kind of in that same boat. So it's going to be a pretty good game. It's going to be in Ferris, which I'm excited about that. It's been a while since we've been home. Then after that game, Tuesday night, we go into the Blue Ridge tournament, which is northeast of McKinney. And we play Leonard in the warm-up game, which I'm not familiar with. And then the opening bracket play, Pilot Point. And then I think we get maybe 2 to 3 more games. And then after that, Kennedale, Conley, and it's district time.
Here we go.
Nice. Well, Coach and Coach Thomas, thank y'all again so much. We wish y'all the best of luck, and hopefully we can get y'all on here in a few weeks talking about district play. But thank y'all, and y'all go get them.
To belong begins here, among the few, the proud, the Marines.
Are you hungry for the best burgers, fries, and pizza in Ellis County? Well, stop by Doe City Pizza and Burgers, where the ingredients are fresh every day and stacked up just the way you like it. Custom seasoned fries and burgers right off the grill on in-house fresh homemade buns. So head on down to Doe City Pizza and Burgers, where everything there is delicious. Doe City Pizza and Burgers is located in Red Oak, Texas, right across from Red Oak High School. Make sure you come down and have the best burgers and service in Ellis County.
We would like to welcome in the Ennis Lady Lions basketball team. We've got Coach Kilpatrick. We've got Riley Pace. We've got Lenasia Brooks. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. And then we got Fifi Blanchard. I'm horrible with names, so I get excited when I get it correct. And so we are welcoming you guys in. Thank you so much. I know you got busy schedule, so we won't keep you too long. Coach Kilpatrick, we'll come over to you first. It's kind of the first season in a couple years that it's almost full go, as in that y'all are getting to go to tournaments. You're getting to play a full schedule, no restrictions. Talk about how it feels to get these girls out and to playing these tournaments before district starts, as many games as you can, and how does that help bolster this team?
Yeah, it feels like, we're really back to normal, after a couple of years. Like you said, it's, last year we couldn't play any tournaments, and it was just, basically every Tuesday and Friday, play a game. And, these tournaments, you get to see a lot of really good competition. We were in Athens this past weekend, and we saw, Bullard and Martins Mill play some really good teams. And, we're hoping that that's going to prepare us for district starting next week.
Well, and Riley, going back to that as a senior now, you've been through 2 years of this, restrictions and all that stuff. How good does it feel to get back on the bus, grab the aux cord, start playing stuff that coach has never heard in his life? Okay. How good does that feel to be a senior and have that full season experience again?
Me personally, I think it's very good. For the past 2 years in high school, I really didn't have that good experience because, most of our team had COVID 1 year and then we were out, and being able to have a full season and play in tournaments and everything is actually really good. And especially since I'm a senior, I'm very thankful for this. And I'm excited to finish this season out because we're doing very great so far.
Awesome. Well, Fifi, talk to me about the tournament experience. I know and you get into district play and you'll play Tuesday and Friday nights. You'll play a couple nights a week, but when in early season, you guys get out there and you'll play 3, maybe 4 games in a 2-day stretch. Talk about getting out and play tournaments and just that experience and how it brings you girls together.
The tournaments are fun. Like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like it's a better experience for everybody because we're not used to that anymore. And so it's just playing. It's just like fun. Everybody gets to like do their own thing and show what they really can do against all the other teams because we're not used to playing them.
Well, Lenasia, talk about, you're battling against each other. And like we've said in the past, this past couple of years kind of been weird for all the teams. But, you get down there, you battle against each other all the time. Now you're finally getting to put that physicality to somebody else that ain't in the bus with you. How good does that feel for somebody that's down there in the blocks, actually getting to be able to be full physical with somebody to get those rebounds like you've been doing thus far this year?
Well, I think it gives me a little more room to improve because with there being harder competition and me being able to be a little more aggressive, it puts less restrictions on how I play. For say, when I'm down on the block, I do get a lot of rebounds, but then again, I still have a lot of things to improve on. And I also need to make sure I'm not extremely harming anyone else or harming myself.
Well, Coach, I'm already impressed right here. You got one of your young ladies saying per se, okay? So let's talk about, these are what we call student athletes. What does it mean that these girls are doing as good in the classroom as they are on the court to you and your program?
Yeah, this year, every year is a little bit different. Sometimes you have kids that struggle, with grades a little bit, but this particular varsity squad, we've got some really smart kids, and every 9 weeks, it's really hasn't been that stressful for me so far. These kids have done a good job of taking care of their business, and they're very just diligent with their schoolwork, making sure that they're making good grades and their parents are staying on them. So that's really been a blessing for us this year.
That's awesome. Well, Riley, coming to you, let's go from a player's perspective. We've got a senior, a junior, and a sophomore on here, so we get all the different ages. But talk about the relationships that you guys have, and how do you feel that the chemistry for this year's squad compared to previous years is, and what maybe are some things that keeps y'all going and keeps y'all strong?
This year we have a really good team chemistry, and I'm very thankful for it. The past few years, it hasn't been great, and every year it progresses and gets better. And I feel like as a senior this year, me and my team, our chemistry bond is it's very amazing. We all just click, and we have no hatred or anything, and we all bring each other up, lift each other up, things that we weren't able to do sometimes in the past seasons. And this year, our team is just we click. We're almost like family. It's we just love each other in every type of way, no matter how old we are or anything. And I feel like I'm very blessed and thankful to have this Ennis team as on my senior year. It's very good.
Well, Lanasia, being an underclassman, okay, and like I said, I'm pretty impressed with the 8 rebounds per game right now, to be honest with you. But being an underclassman, how much do y'all want to do this for that senior class that's gone through so much?
I want to make it as best as I can, and hopefully everyone else on the team wants to push for that goal, because since they had to go through that 2 years in a row, I feel it's better if we all strive together to help them have a better year this year, and to help us all bond together and form a better team and a better way for the incoming students to build that same chemistry and make it stronger.
Well, Fifi, I'm going to come over to you. Talk to you a little bit from y'all's perspective as players. Coach can give us all the coach speaking answers all day long, but when you're looking at it as a teammate and a player, what are some things that you guys are doing well in your view to start the season out? And maybe what's one thing that you think on the flip side of that we really need to pin down and get better at, so that way we're moving at full force when district starts here next week?
Well, like Riley said, we call each other the besties because our team chemistry is so good this year. We don't really have no problems because everybody we all know what each other go through, and we just try to make everything as fun as they can, because we know it's the last year and everything that they've been through and stuff like that. I feel like we could work on I don't know, just our team. How do I put this? Our team sportsmanship. Yeah, that we're doing real good with that this year. I feel like it's improved a lot. We cheer each other on a lot this year. So I don't know. I feel like it helps everybody out.
Well, Coach, coming to you, when you look at the girls you brought on here, you got the leader in points, you got a leader in rebounds, and a leader in assists, all 3 different girls, and they're all 3 different ages. Talk about what they bring to the team, and how you got a senior helping lead, and then all the way down to a sophomore. Is that going to help build the foundation to continue the improvement of Ennis Lady Lions basketball?
Yeah, we've got a wide range of kids on our team. Sophomore, freshmen, all the way to seniors, and they all bring something different to the table. We don't really have what I would consider star players. Everybody has a role to fill. Like you said, Riley, scores a lot of points for us. Lanasia, gets a lot of rebounds. Kansas King, defense. Fifi played great defense this weekend and had a lot of assists. So if everybody, takes care of their role and does what they're supposed to do, then, that's going to help us have success.
Well, and Riley, you know, we focus on sports a lot, but one of the big things is success as a program for your town, for your high school, and everything else. And I've just been wondering from a senior's point of view, especially this year, how much does it mean to be that person that those little kids, when they come watch y'all play, those third and fourth graders, they're just picking up basketball probably for the first time, or those seventh and eighth graders. How much does it mean to you as a senior to have them look up to you and go, I want to be like her, to be that inspiration for the next generation of the Lady Lions?
It means a lot to me because I can remember the days where I was young and in their shoes and watching high school players and thinking, like, I can't wait to get to high school. Like, I look up to all of them, and I feel like it's not a lot of pressure on me, but it just makes me feel like I'm helping a lot of younger kids out and showing them that high school basketball can be fun, and it is fun, and it's a good thing to live up to. And I feel like as a role model to some of these kids, when they would text or call me and tell me, like, is basketball fun in high school and everything, and it's very, like, it makes me like heartwarming to know that a lot of people do look up to Ennis basketball, and also me and my teammates ourselves. And I feel like that it's a very good experience growing up also.
Well, and Fifi, I'm going to come to you next. What's one of the biggest things that you've learned from Coach Kilpatrick thus far in your career?
A lot. It's like, first, to start off, I was one of those kids like my freshman year. Like when he moved me up, I wasn't really used to playing with other people because I've been playing with the same team for so long. And so like when he moved me up, I got to see like how different people do different things and how like to handle it. Like he would put me in situations that I'm not used to being in, like just to see, because he would move me up to see if my attitude and stuff would change, like dealing, because they would have better attitudes. And I was always that happy kid, like just, you know, not really knowing what's going on, just going with the flow, talking to everybody. And he would just like see if my attitude would change, talking to different people, see if like I could help them, and like me being around them, if I could help the team and stuff like that. And yeah.
Well, Lanesha, you know, what about the girls on the team inspires you? You know, is there that one person that just gets you pumped before a game and you're just like, hey, we got this, you know? Or is it just a group effort at all times there in Ennis?
I feel like it's a group effort at all times, but the person that inspires me the most is Hannah Edwards, because she always has a positive energy going around. She's always smiling, happy, telling everyone they're doing a good job. And she just brings like a lot of cheerful and happiness to the table, which helps bring the rest of the team up and keep us all in a good attitude and good position in the games and also in practice.
Pretty nice, pretty nice.
Well, Tater talks about inspiration, and I'm going to come back to the girls. This will be a question for all three of you. What's an inspiration for you guys that when you were starting to pick up a basketball, or when you first started playing, that really drove you, or that made you like, hey, this is the sport I want to play? Who in your life outside of a coach, and if it is a coach, that's great, but who really pushed you to want to excel and to play basketball? Riley, we'll start with you.
Well, at a very young age, I grew up with a lot of boys, and my dad told me one day, he just stuck me in this sport and was like, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. And till that day, he always pushed me to be a basketball player. And once he left, my uncle picked right back up where he left off and told me, like, we're not going to quit. This is what we have to do. This is what we live for. And ever since that day, he still comes to my games and coaches on the sidelines and tells me, like, this is your sport, and, like, this is what we love. This is what we do.
It's awesome. Well, Fifi, what about you?
Just like she said, like I grew up around a lot of boys. Even my little sister, she was a little boy. And like she always played basketball. I was always that like that little girly girl who like I would play football with them, but I didn't want to get hurt, you know? And so like my mom, she told me one time they were playing basketball or whatever. And like I would always be the last one to get picked. Like nobody ever wanted me on a team. And I'm like, well, like why can't play? Like, you know? And so my mom, she told me I couldn't do it. So I started playing basketball, and now I am where I am.
That's all it took was a parent telling her no, you know, that's it.
Well, good. Well, Naja, what about you?
Well, I started basketball around 5 years old, and I was really pushed into it because I wanted to be more like my mom. And I also wanted to like have a better connection with like my other family members and cousins that also played basketball. So when we were younger, we would play together, and as well as my uncle was a coach, he would help to improve my skills as he still does now. I just feel like I just really wanted to be a better person than people I've known. And I've also wanted to be more of my mom's child. I've always wanted her to be more accepting of me, or not more accepting, but proud of me.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, Coach, you brought these ladies on, and there's a reason that coaches have brought these ladies on. You know, what is it about this group that just, the further ladies here that really has you fired up about this season and about their entire careers in this program?
I just think we've made a lot of progress, the last couple of years. In 2018, we had that really good team and made a deep run in the playoffs. And, the last couple of years, we've been young and trying to rebuild. And, these three kids right here, I mean, they're a prime example of, the improvements that we've made and the type of character that we're looking for in our program, and we're just trying to build around kids like this. And, we've got a couple good junior high teams, coming up, and just trying to build for the future around some quality kids like we have here tonight.
Well, Coach, I'll stick with you real quick. Programs just don't get built at the high school level. It takes junior high coaches. It takes your assistant coaches. Do you want to give a shout out to your junior high coaches that are, starting to get that language built, those drills built in for you, and your assistant staff and your staff as well?
Yeah, absolutely. My top assistant, Byron Northrup, he handles our defense, and he does a great job. And, my other three assistants, Tori Lenz is my freshman coach, Jada Cox is my 8th grade coach, and Jana Trigg is my 7th grade coach. And all three of those girls played for me, at Ennis. So, that's kind of, a sense of pride for us. And, they wanted to come back to Ennis and give back to the community, that they grew up in, and give back to the program, that they played for. It just, gives me a lot of pride seeing them, because they do a tremendous job. So, that's important for us to build for the future.
Awesome. Well, Coach, before we let you guys go, what's a rundown of the next week of games look like?
Tomorrow night, Tuesday night, we go to Waxahachie Life, and, they've got a good athletic ball club. We played them in spring ball. That's going to be a tough matchup. Then we go to the Midlothian Heritage Tournament Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we play, Dallas Lincoln, right off the bat. They're an excellent team. We play Alvarado, play Fort Worth Brewer. It's going to be a quality tournament Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then next week we start district, on Tuesday night. So, it's, we've tried to get in a bunch of games before district starts, trying to get ready because, our district, Red Oak and Midlothian are, usually the cream of the crop. But, everybody else is going to be battling for those playoff spots, and, anything can happen.
Well, awesome. Well, Coach and ladies, we appreciate y'all taking time again to join us. Thank y'all so much. We wish you the best of luck. Coach, I think you got a good group. Seems like you got good chemistry, and all these girls, y'all really want it, and we can tell. And so we thank y'all so much again. And then hopefully we can bring y'all back on in a couple of weeks talking about some district games if you'll allow us. So thank y'all again. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll talk to y'all later.
In Ellis County, we're always on the run. It's always good to know that someone's always there. Doesn't matter the time of day. With ATM Live, hours are always available. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can always pull right up and talk to someone live for that personal service. Or stop by and visit with the friendly folks inside. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
We are welcoming in the Red Oak Hawk baseball team, and it feels good. It's the first baseball team we've had since the end of last season. So y'all are always, I know Coach Spurgin, y'all are always great to talk to. So thank y'all so much for taking time out of your evening to join us. Of course, we've got Coach Spurgin, now head coach, Coach Spurgin. We've got Trevor Proefrock. We've got Vinny Vargas and Easton Smith joining us. All three of you guys recently committed, and we'll get to that here in a second. So, but Coach Spurgin, we'll come to you first. Give us a little background on these three kids. I kind of want to highlight, their achievement. They're going to play at the next level after their senior season. Talk about the hard work these three young men have put in, not only for you, but for the program, and what legacy are they going to leave behind?
Yeah, these three guys, I would say me and Coach Johnson, probably their sophomore year, knew they had a chance to play at the next level. They do everything they need to do for our program, but they also are out there in their own programs, select ball. I think two of them play Desperados and Easton's and 27s, and just a lot of baseball between the three of them. But talking about off the field, I mean, these three are going to work the Miracle League games that are local there in Waxahachie. We have a Bible study that these guys all take part in. And then even our leadership program that we're implementing with young guys. So they're the type of guys that I could thoroughly say if a coach called me, I believe they can help them on the field, but I believe they're the right type of kid to help the program off the field as well and kind of be that teammate that you need.
And Trevor, before we get into where y'all signed and everything, having a coaching staff in a program like that over there at Red Oak, that not only is preparing you for the field, but after baseball is life as well. How much has that helped you prepare yourself to go be a collegiate athlete?
It's helped a lot. I feel like I can trust all the coaches there with not just things I do on the field, but if I have to come to them off the field and, I have a problem, they'll help me solve it. And I just feel like I can always call them anytime and just get some good advice.
Easton, being part of the program, you three guys, we're going to be looked up to. People are going to, probably put some expectations on you and things like that. But from a senior standpoint, how does it feel to be somebody that can inspire those kids that are in 7th, 8th, 4th, 5th, and 6th to know that as a person from Red Oak, I can achieve this dream? Because guess what? One of my favorite players on the high school team, Easton, made it as well.
Sure. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what I wouldn't say. I mean, you live for it. It's a big part of it. You're always trying to, set a greater example for anybody coming behind you. Whether it's helping them set their goals and their dreams there, or just even showing them they can do it, and just giving them a role model to live by and kind of go their daily life, school, faith, family, all that. Just follow that.
Well, Vinny, from a standpoint of now you're approaching your senior year, talk about the weight of now where you're going, that now you get to kind of focus. Because I know as a senior, when you're wanting to go play, that weighs in the back of your mind, especially when you're trying to get prepared for your senior season. You want to ball out. It's out of the way now. Talk about how that kind of takes a weight off and you can really focus on going out and doing just everything you can for this Red Oak Hawks program your senior year.
Yeah, so I mean, it has taken away. I get to spend more time with them, family, and also just my teammates. And I mean, it feels great, but I mean, I also feel the same, and I'm still just gonna put in the hard work as well.
Nice. All right, so we're gonna do this like Monday Night Football style, where they pop up on the little screen and say their name and what college they went to. So Trevor, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to Easton and Vinny. If you don't mind, say your name and then what college you're committed to. Trevor, start with you.
I'm Trevor Proefrock, and I'm committed to SAGU.
Like it, Easton?
My name's Easton Smith. I'm committed to Eastfield College.
And Vinny?
Hi, I'm Vinny, and I'm committed to Eastfield College as well.
Awesome. And I got a little soft spot in my heart for Eastfield. And so, but hold on real quick. Is it true? Because I haven't looked in a while. Did they change the name from the Harvesters to the Harvester Bees?
I guess I've seen both lately. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought I saw that pop up, and I was like, man, I'm about to lose a little bit here because the Harvesters is like the best mascot I've ever played for.
There you go.
And so, well, Coach Spurgin, sliding down to you. Talk about this fall and just what has gone through the hard work that you guys are putting in, especially you come in, this is your first year, and I know first year as head coach, you've been there with Coach Johnson, but getting the work in, you see it on Twitter, you see the video guys you guys put out, they're working hard, and how that's going to help you guys now that the spring is just a month and a half away.
Yeah, that's a question I get a lot, and primarily it's because just a lot of the people around the program that's seen it kind of know what we have coming up. But I get the question, like, hey man, how are y'all going to be? How are y'all going to be? And ultimately the main thing I tell them is, all the guys are doing the right things. Like they're putting in the hours on their own. They're staying in shape. I mean, a few of the guys, and one of them's on this, gets up at 5 a.m. every day and is lifting on their own time, plus whatever workout we're putting there for them. And then even as I stated before, the work they're putting in after, I feel like I've made this fall unintentionally, but I've made it busy for them, especially these seniors. They've had a lot of stuff, involving with the community. And sometimes I worry about asking them too much, but man, they step up every time. And as far as what I was envisioning for the fall, these guys have done everything. And it's baseball is a romance. So I don't really put a expectation on it because sometimes it can break your heart, but I just know they're doing all the right things and they're putting themselves in the position to do what we want to do as a program.
Trevor, coaches had y'all busy. I mean, there's more baseball posts coming out of Red Oak than anywhere else in North Texas, to be honest with you. But just talk about how just staying that busy and staying that focused. Because I think that's one thing that Coach Spurgin is doing right now is just keeping y'all focused on the task ahead. How is that going to translate not only to a great season, but, launching you towards that career as a SAGU line?
I think it's going to help a lot. It's been helping a lot. I feel like I'm way better than I, ended the season as, and I feel like progressing, and I feel like us keeping on top of playing baseball every day is huge, and it's just going to help our team so much. I'm excited for it.
Well, in Easton, you go out and you go get ready to play college ball, and coach is basically building a college atmosphere there. I mean, when you're playing college ball, it's not, high school. You're getting busy now, okay? And that's what college is going to be. He still have those high. Coach Spurgeon's put those high expectations on y'all to be able to do all of this. Does that prepare you even more now for going through that college experience and knowing how to deal with some of these time issues and things like that?
Yes, sir. Sure does. Anybody from, like we're saying, with our guys here, our seniors, all the way down to our sophomores in our period. And I've even seen, our freshmen in their own period. Everybody's running through that. And I mean, like you're saying, just preparing. And as we were talking about earlier, those younger guys looking up, if they can, start that now and prepare them, and it's just going to put them in a better situation for their future as well.
Well, Vinny, have you known in your preparation, have you seen anything that's really stuck out that's made this fall different under Coach Spurgin versus Coach Johnson? Not that one's better than the other, but have you picked up on anything differently this fall as opposed to previous falls?
I think one of the biggest things is the leadership he brought in from last year and doing the Bible studies. I feel like more kids can definitely talk about each other, not on and off the field, and help each other out. And I think that brings the team even more together and very can be very good for each other and communicate better.
Now, Coach Spurgin, I've got to say that last answer is awesome to me. I mean, you hear a kid that the answer is something that's as team building as the Bible studies. When you're going through your routine and you're planning things out for these guys, you like you said, you made the fall rigorous. How important is when it's rigorous physically, that you're building those bonds where their mental strength, their spiritual strength is built. How do you think that impacts not only your team play on the field, but the chemistry off?
Yeah, it's funny. We started last year. We started those, and I think we've talked about it before. We started a leadership study, and it was not as much faith based as a Bible study. It was more literally about being leaders, and we started it right after we went like 0-4 to start the year in district, and like right as we started that, we went 6-0. And so on the field, I'm not saying it was all to that, but I do think it provides a lot for these guys to trust each other. And not only for those to trust each other, but even myself, we have those meetings and stuff. And I've shared things with them that, I don't share with a lot, and being that vulnerable and trusting those guys, and they trust me. And it means a lot when you care about the people around you. And, that's on the field, but off the field, man, it's really valuable to have true friends that hey man, I'm in some trouble, they can help me out, or I need some advice, and I hope that's what it's implementing, and that's the goal of it for sure. And the faith-based side, I'm a believer, and I would feel remiss if I didn't provide opportunities for these guys to also experience what I get to experience. So that's kind of the thought process behind that.
Well, that's awesome. That's good work you're doing up there. I know we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Trevor, I'm going to start with you. This is going to be the same question for all three of you guys, but I'd like to hear from you. I know when choosing a place to go play, there's a lot of different factors. What in your decision-making led you to the college of your choice? So Trevor, in your case, SAGU to sign. What was it about SAGU that drew you in?
I think, the big thing is, when I went on my visit, it just felt right. Like, I just felt like, it could be another home for me, and just I'd be able to get in there and just get in their system and just really develop and turn into a better ball player. And it just feels right when I go over there.
Awesome. Easton?
Yeah, so the way we got kind of introduced with Eastfield is we went out to a practice there, and just the whole atmosphere, even the players there welcomed us in, pretty quickly. Kind of felt like we were part of the team already. And then obviously you got Coach Fairchild and Coach Martin, who are just great guys, great people. Just made it easy to fit in there. And there I could tell, they already they cared. Developing wise, they're already teaching me stuff and helping me with stuff there in just a short, 2-hour practice set was just to get a look at me really. And so, it's somebody kind of helping you out like that. And, being close to home as well. I never really thought about that too much, but it's always a good thing. And then, being close to your home school as well. I'd always be able to, come back, talk to Coach Spurgin if I need anything. So just stuff like that.
Far enough away, the parents don't come every evening, but close enough you can get your laundry done if you need it. That's the way to go. Vinny, what about you?
Kind of the same way as Easton said as well. One is they're very welcoming, and every single player I kind of asked, they all liked it there, and I like the practices. They're very efficient. Everyone's doing something at the same time, and something I can get better at, and also just being close to home as well.
Well, Coach, real quick, just talk about these three young men as a collective, what they've meant to the school. I know, they're all good in the classroom. They're all good outside the field. They're great on the field. Just talk about what they mean to the program and creating a buzz and excitement, having three young men signed to play at that next level through your program this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's great for the program, as you said. It creates that excitement, and as y'all talked about earlier, it kind of gives these younger guys some stuff to look forward to. Hey man, I might not have it right now, but if I work hard enough, I can be like one of those guys. So that's awesome. But ultimately, man, I'm just so excited for him, man. I really mean it. I think Easton, man, I about lost my mind in the hallway, and I already knew, some colleges that he was thinking about, but he comes up to me and drops it on me. They sign in there, and it's just awesome, man. I'm excited for him. It was a huge part of my life. I had a similar experience when I went to college. It felt right, and it's just the best thing ever was going to play college ball. And I'm just excited they get to experience that, and I can't wait to see just what they do on the field, but everything else, all the businesses or or whatever leadership they have later on. It's just really exciting. Selfishly, it's exciting for me to see what those guys do, because I'll definitely be watching them as much as I can.
Does it not make it just a little bit better for you as well that they're not that far off? That if you need them to come speak to the team to, next year, just have it like before the season starts, have somebody come back and talk, or if the boys are going through a drought doing something, talk about how you switched them up one year to slap approach, things like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. We've had 2 guys that got to play last year, fortunate enough to play college, but they're way, far out. So their ability to come here is limited. So, I hadn't really thought about that aspect of them being able to pour back in the program. I hope they come back. A lot of what we preach here is pouring back into those that come after. So, I hadn't thought about that, but I definitely like the idea of them being close to know I can catch some games. And, if they ever need something, they have a flat tire, like, I could be here. Not that their family wouldn't beat me, but, I'm still, I'd still be a close second to make it there on time. But, that's awesome. It's again, selfishly, it's nicer for me because I can go see him play.
Well, that's awesome.
Ain't nothing better than the dance ballpark.
That's awesome. Well, guys, we appreciate you taking time to come out and join us to not only dive into kind of about the program with this upcoming season, but to celebrate you 3 young men, because it's awesome. I know it's an awesome feeling. I'm glad that you guys get to experience it, but we're happy that you came on and shared it with us. And so, Coach Spurgin, thank you again. Trevor, Easton, Vinny, hopefully we can have y'all on just about the start of the season to talk some Red Oak Hawk baseball some more.
In Ellis County, we're always on the run. It's always good to know that someone's always there. Doesn't matter the time of day. With ATM Live, hours are always available. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can always pull right up and talk to someone live for that personal service. Or stop by and visit with the friendly folks inside. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
We would like to welcome in the Ferris women's basketball team. We got Coach Mandy West, and we've got Lili Garcia, senior point guard, joining us this evening. Thank y'all so much for taking time out of your evenings. We really do appreciate it. So Coach West, we'll come to you first. Starting the season 6-9, but you guys have played some really tough competition in tournament play. You've already matched the win total from last year. Talk about the early season test with this strength of schedule and how you think this is going to help you guys when you get into district play.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in a tough schedule to start. I know, there are coaches that schedule in a couple of wins and different things, and we had a tough district. And last year we ended up, tied for 4th place and had a play-in game that we lost to get in there. So we had a chance and didn't quite make it. So scheduling this year, I thought, with tournaments coming back after COVID, we're really going to get in there and see what we can do. And the goal is that playing these tough teams early, when we start district, we realize the competition that we've been up against is just going to help us out down the road. So I'm extremely proud of so far. We got some young kiddos on the team this year. So getting in there and kind of getting bullied around a little bit isn't always fun, but I'm a firm believer in the big picture in the long run, and matching our win total from last year already is huge, knowing, we're already there and we kind of see where we can go with the new group. And so it hadn't been easy. And I asked a lot of them early with some of these teams, that we're seeing, and we're getting these tournament schedules going, woo, yeah, that's a beating on some of them. But like I said, big picture, we're there and we're getting prepped up for district, and that's when it matters and that's when it counts.
Well, Lili, how does it feel? You're a senior, and the first thing out of the box coach does is put the 5A team up in front of you in Ennis, and then y'all come out with the big win over that one. Just talk about how that's kind of getting y'all the momentum to just keep going on and hitting these numbers like y'all are.
Oh, it really started off great. I feel like our energy was good, and that big win against a 5A score, that was tough for us. I feel like it's been rough, but we've been playing these big schools, and all it's doing is getting us better. I mean, like Coach said, our district is hard, and this is what we need to start us off, you know?
Well, my question is going to kind of be a two-parter. It's in turn the same question for both of you, but I'm going to go from the coach's perspective and then the player's perspective. As you see from Lili's answer, you can see the excitement just to start this season off. So, Coach West, I'm going to come to you. What is different about this team this season, even in the young part of this season, than last year?
Well, we graduated a ton last year, so I carried 8 on varsity. And we graduated 5 of the 8, and so my 3 returners that I have, you know, I've been here for 6 years, and so I've seen these kiddos from start of their athletic program up to where they're at now, and it's been fun and exciting to see them coach how I would coach. And you know, Lily's like a right hand man for me. I look to her a lot in senior season, and I've been with a lot through that kiddo. We've been through a lot together, and so she sees me, you know, want to say something or want to do something, and she can handle that for me. And our young kids playing on the team, getting that from a senior point guard, getting that from a leader, and not necessarily from coach all the time, has been huge for us. Because, I mean, we're all super competitive, and that's why we're in this profession. And so I have to remember that, hey, we're young and we're having fun and we're doing good things. And she reminds me of that. You know, she keeps me honest in the work. But man, this group of kids get after it. And like I said before, big picture stuff, the potential that we have, you know, it's going to stink losing that girl on the other call here, but the potential what we have for this year and the years to come is what keeps me excited. And she's leaving a legacy for those younger ones now by being there for them and starting the season off the way that she has for us.
Now, Lili, from the player's perspective, you are a senior. You're now getting to see it from them fourth-year eyes. What's different about this team under now your senior year than even last year as a junior?
Sure, Coach she done said it all, man. Got me a little teared up over here. But potential, yeah, that's the biggest thing. But yeah, just potential. They've been I've never seen a group of young kids, you know, like they actually have heart. And you know, we haven't had a lot of heart in the past couple of years. And these young girls, they really got fight. And I'm so happy to like leave that to them. And I hope that one day that they can see from my eyes like what they have in store for them in the future.
Well, Coach West, you know, having a daughter that graduated from Ferris, okay, that's been a few years back. She's a little bit older. I'm really old. But just talk about the change in the climate there. You know, and it's more than just, you know, logos and banners and things like that. You know, that's an aspect of it. But it just seems like every program has a buy-in this year that is way over the top.
Absolutely. I think you get a good crop of kids in, and we've been lucky enough for this senior crew to really start seeing the buy-in, to see it pay off. And that's something that not everybody gets to see. And like I said earlier, this is year 6. And for me to be able to see these kids from the start of their athletic program to the finish of it is something that a coach doesn't always get to see, and you're not always around for that much. So seeing it takes time. I mean, year 1, I had a lot of beat my head against the wall moments of, you know, how do I get through to these kids? What do they need from me? What kind of, you know, coach, role model, person, all those things. What do they need me to be? And then, you know, year 2, okay, I'm figuring it out. Year 3, here we go. And now I'm on the tail end of that going, okay, we're on repeat and we're getting good things, and a new crop of kids are coming in and they're understanding what's, you know, expectations are and where we're headed. And, you know, and that's how teams stay successful. And that's how you see the same teams over and over again. Those young kids come up and you've got a core group that does a lot of good things for you. And you can feel it, you know, like you said, you can feel that change and everything. And, you know, we have a lot of our girls that play volleyball, and for our volleyball team to not only make the playoffs, but win a playoff game and go to round 2, that's huge for us, you know, and we support, you know, all the sports all around, but for our girls to go directly from a playoff win, you know, and then into round 2 to come out to basketball, you can't recreate that and things for them to be in that environment and have that experience. So, you know, the better that they do, the better that we do. And so I was fortunate. They had a great season, and we got a couple key players back that play volleyball, and they're at the program, you know, to come over from us. And, you know, it's just an all around feel in the climate in the school of kids knowing, hey, we've had a little bit of success. We know what that feels like. And then once you have it, you know, what you do with it. And it's just something we're building on for the next couple of years.
Well, Lili, I know you got your glasses on tonight, but as far as I can see, your eyesight's pretty darn good on that court. 15.3 points per game. I mean, just talk about the confidence that you're exuding because in a little bit of footage, and folks, they'll be on the highlights this week as well. But Lili, just talk about the confidence that you have because I saw you driving, I saw you shoot from the outside. Just talk about that confidence that you have in your touch right now and your shot.
I just comes with practice, man. I don't know. Like, it's just, my coach, she's telling me, don't stop shooting. You take the shot, keep going. Like, she's always telling me, like, if I miss 2 in a row, she's don't stop shooting. Really, don't stop shooting. And my teammates, they always pick me up. It's just, it's just the people I surround myself with, the support, they help me build myself up because we all have bad games. We all can miss a lot of shots and you just can't stop, man. Like, that's just been pushing me forward all season because I've hit rock bottom some games and they're there to push me and support me.
That's awesome.
Well, Coach West, talk to us about how easier it makes your job having a senior leader like Lili, and especially somebody at the point guard position who's running your floor. How much easier does that make your job?
Much easier. She's our captain out there, and the kiddos look to her, for things, and she's able to have the unique perspective of being that starter for 4 years now, also being with me for those 4 years, throughout it, in different aspects. This is only my second year, coaching basketball here, but I've been at Ferris for those 6 years. So she's seen me in different roles there. So that relationship's been able to be built, and she's being nice because even her rock bottom games are still a lot better than some others, than other people have for theirs. But she keeps me humble and she reminds me of a lot of things. And I get on tangents every now and again of the expectations that I have for us, and what I know these kids can do. And then she reminds me at the end of the day that, hey, coach, they're kids or they're new or they're different. I'm like, all right, you're right. And we can start it over. And for her to be able to take over a game or for her to be able to see something on the floor that I don't see. And for us to be able to have those conversations, is huge. I've coached teams before that I didn't have a kiddo like that. And this is just like another assistant coach for me, that she can help and she can see, and she knows those girls on a different level, being with them and being their friend. And it's only a benefit that she and I have the kind of relationship that we do, to be able to work together. And like I said, I'm going to miss her terribly, and we're not going to talk about that. She and I already agreed. We're not going over those things, but I hope any coach that does this anywhere has a kid like that they can depend on as much as I depend on her. And she fills those shoes. She steps up and she takes over and she knows what she has to do and get it done for us. And she's all about the team, and we are lucky to have her for sure.
Well, and Lili, I want to come back to you real quick because I think this is a different perspective than most people ever get, which is being a senior in a small town in Texas, sports rule. Okay. And that makes you a superstar, especially when you're a senior. What does it mean to you to be a mentor after, playing and putting your heart into this program, to be the person that young women look up to say, I want to be her, not just on the court, but off the court. What does that mean to you personally?
I mean, that means everything. Like, that's everything. Like, my dream one day is to become a coach and to help others and help these kids. Like, I want to make that impact on their lives because now, like, you can be a great player, but if you inspire others, like, that means everything. Like, that fills my heart because I love this game, and to see others love it and have that passion and that I can give them, like, I can help them in either way, I would. Like, I just want to impact. I just love it. It's the passion, it's the love for the game.
Well, Coach, it sounds like we're going to have to get her through university in about 3 years so you can hire her back real quick. Let me tell you.
Yes,
but
sir.
Lili, let's take a peek behind the curtain real quick, okay? So one of my favorite things to know is about, having 3 daughters. I've always heard about the bus rides and seeing pictures and everything else. So who is that person on the bus this year that's grabbing the aux cord, saying, come on with the TikToks and everything else, playing music that coach has never heard in her life?
No.
Okay. Who's that person getting everybody riled up on the way to the game to get everything fired up before you can take the court?
It'd have to be Raina Edwards or Zara Harrison. They're always on some goofy stuff before the game. Oh,
That's awesome.
Now, Lili, what do you think it's going to take to get Coach West on the TikTok?
Oh, I think it's gonna have to take.
I think that Ennis win should have done it. Just gonna say.
I think the 6 wins should have done it.
Yes.
The 6 wins should do it.
Now, Coach, how about 10 wins and a TikTok?
10, I can do. Yeah, 10.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
Coach West, Coach West, don't set the bar low. It's playoffs and then like 5 TikToks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. She knows how I feel about all that. So.
Okay. Well, Coach, you know, we've talked about this a little bit with almost everybody, but, you know, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, junior high programs. You know, that doesn't happen when you become Lili and you start playing high school ball. Talk about the junior high program and how it's really, you know, go a little bit deeper into it on how it's creating a winning environment all the way through the system.
For sure. You know, we're fortunate enough here to have not only our athletic periods within an athletic performance class that we get into, and our 6th graders have a pre-athletics class that they're in. And so they get some early touches on when having, you know, coaches that are there. And, you know, I started my career a long time ago as a junior high coach. And some of the best relationships I have to this day are with kiddos that were my little 7th grade B teamers, you know, way back then. Just to have that role model and still in the program fundamentals, you know, there. And, you know, we're fortunate enough in Ferris to have a youth basketball association. In fact, I'm in my car right now because my kiddo, my 6-year-old's playing for the first time. She's at her practice tonight. But for those kids to get reps and get touches on the ball, to just get an interest in the game, you know, and it only grows from there. And then, you know, our junior high programs, they got some tough competition in their districts too. But, you know, we have coaches that are around me, that are around our high school kids that we go through, you know, hey, this is what we want. These are the expectations. And they start early on it, and they see those kids grow from, like I said, pre-athletics, you know, first touch in 6th grade to having those 7th and 8th grade teams. We field A and B teams. They know what they're doing by the time that we get them to where they want to be. You know, the speed of the game is faster in junior high, of course, or in high school, of course. And, you know, things look a little bit different, but they're hearing terminology for years that's the same, you know, and they're going through drills that they can now do with their eyes closed because it's the same and it's repetition. You know, and I said earlier, a lot of coaches don't get to see, you know, kids all the way through the program. And you look at a lot of the successful schools that we have, you know, those feeder programs are there and it's coming up, and you hear them talking about, man, I got a 7th grader that can do this. I got an 8th grader that can do that, you know, and you do, unfortunately, you have to plan ahead. Like I said, it makes me sad for my senior here talking, but, you know, we're already looking ahead at, okay, well, what does next year look like with some junior high kids coming up, or what are 2 years down the road? What does that look like? Big picture, I've said it multiple times, you know, is a big thing for me, and really looking at where those players fit into that program. So the fact that they've seen my face, they're around me and my family, they're around these high school kids, you know, our high school teams go to every junior high game that we have, you know, and watch them, and we're involved. And it really gets that team mentality and program, you know, standards that you have, not just one team to another, but what are we going to do down the road? And that once you get that buy-in, man, you get young girls to buy into what you're doing, and they get a little bit older, and you really see some special things happen, you know, when they get up there. And that's what we're looking for, that's something special that's going to go on here.
Awesome. Well, Lili, as the leader on the floor, what's one thing that if you had to point out this from a player's perspective that you're like, you know what, we do this really, really well, what would it be? And then on the flip side of that, what's one thing that you think that you guys need to improve on as district approaches here in a couple of weeks?
Communication has been really a lot better, especially on defense. And I would say our composure had to get a little better towards district, because we can play some scrappy teams, and a lot of our girls like to feed into that. But as we're growing, so as it comes to district, hopefully everybody can keep their composure. But yeah, I say that's probably the biggest thing.
I think she is a coach.
I think she's a coach too. Sounds just like my daughter. But Coach West, you know, let's talk about, you know, you talk about the feeder program and everything else. And it's, you know, it's never possible to replace. I mean, Lili is pretty much Miss Ferris basketball here, you know, it has been for a while. But talk about, you know, somebody that you might have that we don't know their name yet, but they're showing some good signs. They're growing quick. You're liking where things are going with them, that might be able to help Lili out this year and in the future.
So a junior high kiddo or some of our younger kiddos?
Some of our young freshmen, underclassmen in your varsity program.
So we've got some, our freshman class this year is actually the largest class to come through in a while in terms of amount of kids. And so our entire freshman team is obviously freshmen. And then about half of our JV squad is made up of freshmen this year. And then I'm carrying 2 freshmen on the varsity. And so we've got some special kiddos, around there. They're sprinkled all the way throughout. Brooke Pearson is a kiddo that comes to mind, for me. She's on our freshman team. She's been playing a little bit of JV team. I'm actually taking her to the tournament with us this weekend to kind of just get it, just eyes on what it's like. Like I said, I'm big on, again, big picture and expectations, and they don't know unless you see it, and unless they're there, they can really get that hands-on feel. Plus, I love tournaments. I tell the girls all the time, hey, we're not in school. We're pretty much eating all day long. We're getting to play a little bit of basketball. Like, that's the best thing, for us and getting those back this year. So to have a young kid to come up and kind of see and already start to build that camaraderie of what's going on, is going to be huge for her. Now, point guard's a hard position to replace, and we've had some tough conversations of who wants to be that next one. So I think I have a handful of girls that are going to be it, but I don't know if they know they're it yet. We have a lot of, I hope it's somebody else, but not me. But they'll get there when they're ready. It's a tough position to play, and it's a lot of responsibility to take on yourself as a young kid, stepping up. And they've been spoiled with that one over there on the call here of doing her thing for the past couple of years. And so we are getting there. I'm excited to see, what we have, but it is definitely a tough spot to fill.
Well, and Lili, my question to you is, you obviously have a passion for the sport. You've had it for a while. I know Coach West was instrumental in helping you, mature that passion, get a little, probably a bit more technical with your game. But who's that person that inspired you, that got you started, that, means the world to you, that's just always been there for you besides the coaching staff?
I have to say my older brother, Chris. He introduced me to the game when I was in first grade. I was playing with him, and I was just like, this is it, man. Like, he started showing me little by little. We started watching the Mavericks, and I became a LeBron fan. And like, just from there, I just had the love for it. He took me to play basketball with older men. I was in like 3rd grade, and I was playing against 20-year-olds. Like, just from then, he's been my coach, literally. Like, he taped my right hand to my back and made me dribble and eat and everything with my left hand, so I can be able to dribble with my left hand, shoot with my left hand, everything. Yeah, he put me through some rough stuff, but it turns out it was worth it. It was all worth it.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I guarantee he wouldn't no tick-tack fouls. He's taking her to the ground almost every time.
Yeah. Yep. Everything was hard.
Well, Coach West, before we let you guys get out of here, what's the upcoming schedule look like here for the next week?
So we've got Quinlan Ford here at home tomorrow. And our boys are actually hosting as well. And so it's gonna be the first time this season that girls and boys are both at home. We're split site for district, so we don't get to see them play very often. So we're excited about that. So Ford tomorrow, and then we head to a Salina tournament. We're going to see McKinney North, Salina, and Chisholm Trail between Thursday and Saturday. And then we travel to Van next Tuesday, and then we start district. So we got one more week before we get rolling in that December 17th district marks. And so this is kind of our last tournament to fine tune some things and get some things on the level they need to be before we get rocking and rolling for when it really counts.
Well, awesome.
Those are some tough teams now.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you, she didn't do y'all no favors on the schedule there, Lili. Let me tell you.
He did not.
But I'll tell you what, y'all be battle hardened for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so, well, ladies, we appreciate y'all taking time again to join us. We thank y'all. And then hopefully y'all will take that 10-win bet and use it. And then hopefully we get to, like, I don't know, 15 or 20 wins. I'd enjoy that. I know y'all would too. And so, we thank y'all so much, and we wish you the best of luck, Coach West, Lili, and hopefully we can get y'all on again, maybe talking about a sweet district run, playoff berth. Thank y'all so much. Good. And y'all enjoy your evening.
In Ellis County, you know where to go for the best pizzas and burgers.
Welcome to Doe City. How are you doing today?
A menu that allows you to have it just the way you like it. great, friendly customer service, and all the toppings you can handle. So what do our customers say about Doe City?
We come up here all the time, so we love the pizza and the burgers also.
It's somewhere we can all come and have a good time with our friends and enjoy the good food that they have here. I love the fries.
That it's cooked to order, so you're always gonna get it fresh.
Doe City's always a great place to come and hang out with your friends.
Whether it's Tuesday or Friday night after a ball game in Ellis County, guess what? You can always make it over and have a little bit of delicious.
It's delicious.
Delicious.
It's delicious.
So come in or order out at Doe City Pizza and Burgers in Red Oak, Texas.